Up next, we do have Bruce McLeod. He's the president and CEO of Sabina Gold and Silver. The company's developing the Back River project in Nunavut and to production. And Bruce, really appreciate you joining us this morning as well. You're here in Vancouver with me, so you also have 6:55 a.m. here on your clock. And it's always appreciated when people make the time early in the day.
Good morning, everyone. And can you hear me now, Kai?
Sounds good. Sounds good and looks good.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. So today we'd like to give you a brief presentation on Sabina Gold and Silver Corp and our Back River project in southwestern Nunavut. A lot of work that's been done on this since this was acquired by Sabina in 2009, and particularly in the last 2 years. And I'd like to share some of that with you and a little bit of vision going forward with the company. Sabina has a couple of things I think that are going for it that separate it from many other development companies. First of all, I think is the grade and tenor of our mineralization. These are the highest grade open pits that are permitted, over 500,000 ounces in the world. It's in a great mining district when it comes to permitting, when it comes to ability to gain social license in Nunavut, Canada. And one of the things about Nunavut is certainly the lack of infrastructure. We have to build all the infrastructure for this project ourselves. So what we have done and been focusing on the last 2 years is really bringing in those critical project components, the infrastructure, the de-risking to make sure that we can operate that infrastructure. Our feasibility is, as we've announced, is going to be refreshed. But the last one that was done at $1,150 US an ounce in late 2015, 2016, shows very good economics. And when we talk about the economics with today's gold price, certainly world-class, and a well-funded organization and a team of professionals that has been through construction operation in the past before. RBC puts out this slide, and it's very simple in terms of on the vertical axis, gold equivalent resource. In the horizontal is gold equivalent grade. And we can see is there's very few of the North American domicile producers or developers that are in the area that Sabina is. And again, if we look at this list from 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, there's a number of companies that were clustered closer to where Sabina is that now are either in production, Lundin Gold, or have been taken out to Continental Gold. So certainly our objective is to build this operation. And the second, in terms of M&A, is always something that could happen. As we said, we are in southwestern Nunavut. If we look at other successful operations, certainly Agnico has been building their production profile from Nunavut. At same latitude, about the same distance from Tidewater, was the Meadowbank mine. The difference between Meadowbank and where we are is Meadowbank was a 3-gram open pit in those last number of years and operating very successfully. And if we look at to the southwest of ours, Back River project, we'll see a lot of the diamond mines. And again, we are closer to Tidewater, again, brought our own infrastructure in. The Back River deposits have been well drilled. We're now nearing 600,000 meters of drilling completed. If we look at the slide or the table on the right side, we can see since we've acquired this asset in 2009, the kind of resource growth that we have. And, we haven't stopped. We've been continuing to expand. Our focus has really been on discovery and focusing on trying to find higher grade areas that, rather than just more ounces, those that could actually improve the economics. And the whole reason for improving the economics is not that we need it, but it's improving the cost of capital. And certainly that is something that objective has been met. Today, we're infill drilling some of those deposits for new resource estimate. Navoyak will be next year. Again, our latest discovery that won't get into this new resource estimate. It will be in a subsequent one. With COVID, there's just no way that we could get enough drilling on the project this year with our spring program being curtailed because of restrictions. But on our way to updating. This is a fully permitted project, not only for construction, but now for operations. If we look at The feasibility at 1150 US gold with an 80-cent Canadian US currency. That was a 24.2% after-tax IRR. It's actually 240,000 ounces of mine per year for the first 8 years, but 200,000 ounces a year, just under 196 for 12 years. We've now shown expanded life potential. Social license, again, something that we could spend this whole 15 minutes talking about. But Nunavut being Canada's newest territory and 100% settled or extinguished Inuit land claims, is social license is part of the permitting process. Without social license, projects do not proceed. It's embedded in the process with the most modern permitting regime in Canada. And if we look on the graph or the table on the bottom right, we'll see where this project sits on more current gold prices. And in that 1900 to 2000, you can see an NAV that is in that 1.5, 1.6 billion dollar NPV Canadian. Since the feasibility, we've been very busy. Again, full pit permits and social license. Our last permit was only received earlier this year, and that was tailings deposition. We built the infrastructure and tested that infrastructure and de-risked it to be able to support construction and operations. The reality is if we'd made a construction decision without doing that, some of the changes that we had to make from feasibility would have cost us dearly. But again, the decision to be able to test and operate those. Our supply chain, we tested by land and by sea from the lower Canadian provinces to the project. Basic engineering is done. We're now working on delivery of detailed engineering or blueprint IFC issued for construction drawings. Significantly more metallurgical testing to not only support the design of the flow sheet, but a detox and other test work. 3 new discoveries, advancement of project debt, and gold price, not something that we've controlled, but certainly something that we've looked at. And how do we change our feasibility to take advantage of the better economics to deliver some of those higher grades first? And that's really what the internal studies that we've done this year is making a commitment to go underground to bring some of the higher grade first, again, which will reduce payback period and we believe lower cost of capital. If we look at the 8-kilometer section of what we call the Goose project, which is about 10% of the land holdings outside of this, George, about 50 kilometers away, another 2 million ounces that has got actually 4 times the iron formation than our Goose project, but less understood, less drilled. From the left to the right, we've discovered a new half-kilometer extension on the Llama deposit. Umwelt on center left, the Vault deposit really understood the high-grade controls, and we'll talk about up dip towards the pit, some of the changes that we've made. We're also going to include the Echo open pit and underground in future economics. Navoyak is a new discovery on the right, and all told about 1.2 kilometers of new strike in the last 3 years. I think what's really got us excited is after discovering the Vault, which you see in that lower shaded green, is we've now delivered actually some of the best drill holes from a subset of the Umwelt deposit. And if we look at the last intercepts, 20 grams over 32 meters, that's about 80 to 85% true width. Some of the other shaded boxes, you'll see some wonderful grades within that high grade corridor, which will be redomained and I believe will improve the economics of the early underground. So because of those, we have made the commitment to go underground, to be able to release those higher grade ores earlier, to get underground, actually crosscut and drill off in detail, and the ability to bulk sample. So portal preparations are beginning. We've had to put an airstrip extension in order to be able to support the underground year round, to be able to handle heavy lift aircraft and be able to bring fuel in the year round rather than just seasonally on winter. We don't have the fuel storage on site to be able to do that. And we'll be able to actually get to that first high grade area within about 1,000 meters of collaring. So What are we going to be doing is certainly continued drilling results, commencement of detailed engineering, updated resource estimate and feasibility, continue that pre-development earthworks to prepare for the underground ramp, and again, additional infrastructure that we require for construction on site, and be in a position to take advantage and make a production decision. So, I believe that, at least a high level overview and the opportunity to answer any more questions as we go forward. Thank you.